This is WWE NXT's Becky Lynch, one of the top wrestlers here in the company. I want to ask you first of all, who is WWE NXT's Becky Lynch?
Becky Lynch is just chaotic. She is completely chaotic. Thinks she is the coolest thing since bags of ice. She's a badass. She is a submission specialist. She does what she wants, when she wants, doesn't care what anybody thinks of her. She dresses how she wants. She's not impressed by Louis Vuitton. She's not into fame. She's not into fortune. She's just into doing what she wants and won't let anybody get in her way and will go by any means necessary to get what she wants.
Where does the name Becky Lynch? Now, Becky is from Rebecca.
Becky's
your
from
first
Rebecca,
name.
my first name. So, I don't know if you've seen any of my stuff on Twitter, but I am a colossal fan of wordplay. So I've had 20-something years experience with playing with Rebecca and Becky, so I wanted to have my own name in there in some way, shape or form, so that's where Becky comes from. And then Lynch is kind of a good omen for me, because when I decided to come back wrestling, I don't know if you knew that I took a bit of a gap from wrestling for near 7 years, but I started back training, and the gym that I trained in was called Raw, and I always think that's a kind of a good omen, because that's where I met the guy who was like, you know, you need to go for a tryout. And wrestling never left my heart. So the owner of that gym was called Lynch, and so it tied in. And it's a good Irish name, a strong Irish name.
Where was that?
That was in Dublin.
So here's this girl, this tough girl, who's getting into wrestling. She's going for it. And all of a sudden, how does this opportunity come up where you land with WWE NXT?
Would you believe? Okay, so now I left the business when I was 19. 19 I retired. But it's sad because I've always kept journals, and I was always writing. I feel like I have unfinished business. I feel like I should be in WWE. I feel like I should be, and even, you know, when you do silly superstitious things like, you know, when an eyelash falls out and you make a wish, and I would always automatically go, I wish I was in the WWE. And so it never left me, and I was working as a stunt woman, and I went down to this gym, the wrestling gym, where my friend Joe Cabray, he was in NXT for a while.
Was this in Orlando?
This was back in Dublin. And he said, have you ever done a WWE tryout? And I said, no. And he was like, you know, you haven't lost it. I think you should go for it. And I thought about it for all of 2 seconds. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm meant to do. It's what I'm meant to do. It's just what I'm meant to do. And I knew from that minute this was going to happen and I was going to get here. I just knew it. You know the way there's some things that they say when you know, and yeah, I knew.
You felt it in your heart.
I felt it.
This was the right thing, and this was going to work out.
Everything was like, oh, this is easy. Even when things were hard, it was easy. It wasn't a struggle. It was worthwhile. It
was work, but it wasn't a struggle to do what you had to do.
Yeah.
How did you then, when you went back into it, because you said you were 19, this I didn't know, you were 19 and you decided, that's it, I've had enough of this. At that time, how long had you been trying?
I started wrestling when I was 15. I was wrestling when I was 15. I left college, I dropped out when I was 17 and decided I would move over to Canada to pursue wrestling, because I thought there was just more opportunities there. And well, it took off, the chance took off, and I was flown over to Japan. I wrestled for a big promotion over there. I was main eventing in Cork Hall, which is one of the biggest wrestling venues in the world, or most famous, should I say. And I got a contract with one of the largest advertising agencies in Japan, and I had all this stuff going. And at 19, I was like, whoa, wait, is this, what if, you know, shouldn't I go to college? Should I do this, you know? Whatever,
You were a young lady with a lot of decisions on your hands.
I was 19 and a lot of good things happening to me, and just curious about, at that age I think you're curious. should you stay in this line or should you branch off and try other things? And luckily I was young enough that I could do all the other things that I thought I might even want to do. And it's so funny because I did so much and I loved everything that I did, but none of them captured my heart. None of them felt right. You know, I was like, yeah, this is fun, this is okay, but there was always just that nagging feeling deep down in my gut saying, no, you are meant to wrestle. It was there. I feel like I think very few people get to feel that, and I feel so lucky and so blessed to know exactly what I want to do. And to be able to do it, that's a dream come true. You couldn't ask for more.
Becky, how did you transition from Ireland and then coming to the States? And I know we talked a little bit, you said you'd been into Orlando before.
Yeah, well, I've been to, I've lived in America a bunch of times. I moved actually when I just finished wrestling. One of the things I thought, well, hey, what I love about wrestling is fitness, and I love being in shape, and I love working out. So I thought I'd be a personal trainer. So I moved over to Orlando, did my personal training diploma over here. And I also thought, what I love about wrestling is traveling, so I was a stewardess for a while. And so then I got to be in Orlando, I got to be in New York, and fly all over the world doing that. And then I thought, no, what I love about wrestling is the entertainment. So I did my acting degree. So I went back to college, and in the summer between my first and second year, I moved over to New York. So I worked as a bartender in New York for the summer. And then luckily in the second year, I got to do a year in Columbia College in Chicago. So I went to college there, and actually so did Aiden English. So I knew Aiden English from there. It's such a small world. And we did stage combat, and then, so they were the times that I lived over in America. I love it over here. I do love it over here. Everything's so convenient, and the food's amazing. The portions are huge. I love it.
So what is your favorite food? I'm going to throw that at you.
My favorite food? Okay, look, I love salads. And everybody makes fun of me. They're like, oh, I love lettuce. But I do. I just love lettuce. You can eat as much as you want of it, and it's like you're getting hydrated as well as getting full. It's brilliant. And I love bananas. Bananas are another favorite.